Charles Leclerc is rumoured to have signed a massive contract for Ferrari, binding him to the team potentially for the next 5 years. Now, on the positive side, Ferrari fans are glad that they got to wrap up the contract, but individually, is it a good move for Leclerc, or did he just make the mistake of his career? Stay until the end of this video to find out. Was it a good choice for Charles Leclerc to remain with Ferrari? Charles Leclerc is undoubtedly one of the most impressive talents to join Formula 1 in the past 5 to 6 years. His calm and friendly personality outside the helmet contrasts with his fierce and determined attitude on the track, which fans really appreciate. He started his F1 journey in 2018 with Sauber, and his outstanding performance quickly led to him becoming a Ferrari driver after just 1 year racing in the midfield. He's been driving for Ferrari since 2019. In this period, he partnered with Sebastian Vettel and outperformed him. He even managed to defeat the legendary Lewis Hamilton in a head-to-head battle at Monza. Remarkably, he's taken on a leading role for the Italian team at a very young age. Certainly, Charles Leclerc's experience with the team hasn't been as good as he hoped. When discussing Ferrari, we think about contending for top starting positions, victories and championships. This year will mark his 5th season with the team, yet he hasn't had a chance to compete for the championship even once. If we're being very understanding, we might say that the 2022 F1 Championship had a somewhat simulated title battle. But apart from that, there's nothing that even compares. Over the years, Leclerc has clearly demonstrated that he belongs amongst the best Formula 1 drivers. He possesses the skills that often lead drivers to championship victories, and when it comes to qualifying, the driver from Monaco is truly exceptional. Some might even argue he's the best. He also excels in racing tactics and is skilled in close battles on the track. Every aspect of his skill set is of the highest level. The only factors that have held back Charles Leclerc's success in Formula 1 are the performance of his car and the support from his team. Ferrari's mistakes with power unit rules in 2019 had serious consequences for the team's performance in 2020 and 2021. In 2022, when the team returned to the top, a significant flaw became evident. While Leclerc was showing his skills as a strong competitor against Max Verstappen for the championship, Ferrari demonstrated that they were unprepared. Since 2022, the Italian team's performance has been declining consistently. Even in 2023, the team continues to make significant mistakes almost every weekend. The ongoing letdowns had an impact on Charles Leclerc last year, and they continue to weigh on him this season. Considering Ferrari's lack of progress in recent years and the ongoing changes under new management, does it seem really wise for him to commit to the team for a 5-year period? It appears quite unlikely. Ferrari's last championship victory was in 2008, which means it's been 15 years without a single title win. They've been part of 2 intense championship fights, one with Fernando Alonso in 2010 and 2012. When Sebastian Vettel joined, he managed to secure 2nd place in the championship twice, but those challenges faded after the middle of the season. Charles Leclerc had a similar experience in 2022, where he was a strong contender for the championship, but the battle practically ended after the midway point of the season. Over the past 15 years, Ferrari has engaged in 2 World Championship battles without clinching a win. Adding to this, the team is currently undergoing changes, and it's evident how frequently they face internal issues. So, is it really wise to extend a contract with such a team? The sensible answer would likely be no. Leclerc's relation to other teams. For Leclerc, the decision ahead should have been straightforward. With new management led by Fred Vasseur, changes are on the horizon and should begin to show results in the upcoming season. It wouldn't be logical to commit to a team with a history of consistent underperformance without first seeing the impact of these changes. If Ferrari's situation improves by the next season, Leclerc could think about extending his contract with the team. But if things don't change as expected, he might need to explore other possibilities. So, is there a potential spot at Mercedes? And how about considering McLaren or Aston Martin? Well, there are rumours circulating that he has been in talks with 4 different teams, but it seems he has ultimately chosen to sign a lengthy and lucrative contract with the Scuderia. According to French sports news outlet Sporttune, they recently reported that the driver from Monaco has indeed finalized an agreement to race for Ferrari until 2026. This deal even induces the possibility of extending it for an additional 3 years. If this information holds true, it would mean that Leclerc holds the longest contract in the racing industry, surpassing Max Verstappen at Red Bull. The rumor comes from Crash.net, which suggests that Leclerc didn't rush into making this decision. He took his time to explore options with other big teams like Red Bull, Mercedes, Alpine and Aston Martin. These discussions were a precaution in case his contract with Ferrari didn't get renewed. I'm also pretty certain it was a way to negotiate a better deal, but that's beside the point. Leclerc's new contract. The reported Ferrari deal appears to be very profitable, with Leclerc set to earn around 185 million euros over the next 5 years. This comes out to approximately $37 million per year, and there's even a potential bonus of 50 million euros if he stays with the team in 2029. I guess in a way loyalty does have some benefits after all. In recent months, there have been rumours connecting Leclerc to Mercedes. Despite these speculations, he's stuck with Ferrari. The move that was being reported was hard to believe, a straight swap between Lewis Hamilton and Charles Leclerc. But as Leclerc himself stated, he wanted to stay and improve the team to be better. If Red Bull weren't that dominant last year, they even had a shot at being world champions, but the inconsistency in their car led them down, which means they're not that far off after all. The battle of alpha males. Is Leclerc the winner? Well, before the start of the season, Leclerc hoped that Ferrari would prioritise him as the #1 driver, since he previously worked with Fred Vasseur. But Vasseur stated that this team would not have a #1 driver, instead it would opt for 2 #1 drivers. Of course, this was a letdown for him, but he continued performing for Ferrari. But since then, it seems that Vasseur changed his stance on that, and they started prioritising him as the #1 driver. The recent rumour about Carlos Sainz is that he signed a pre-contract with Audi to join in 2026. The Spanish driver is currently under contract with Ferrari until the end of 2024. However, there are reports suggesting that he has agreed to an extension for 2 years with the possibility of a 3rd year at the Maranello-based team. As reported by Australian publication Auto Action, Sainz has apparently signed a preliminary agreement with Audi for the 2026 season. This could be influenced by his father Carlos Sainz Sr., who has strong connections to the team. Sainz Jr. made comments during the Belgian Grand Prix weekend. Now, it's important to understand that a pre-contract isn't a legally binding agreement. This means that both the rumours about a pre-contract with Audi and a contract extension with Ferrari could both be true in a technical sense. As of now, there haven't been any official announcements. However, with the upcoming silly season in Formula 1, fans can expect to receive updates soon. You might be wondering what a pre-contract is and why it matters. All we can tell you is that if Sainz goes through with this move, it would bring attention to Audi's presence in F1 right from the start. This situation indicates that Charles Leclerc has essentially won the debate about being the lead driver at Ferrari. Sainz doesn't seem to think that the team will prioritise him over Leclerc, despite Sainz's track record of being a skilled driver who avoids mistakes, unlike Leclerc. This scenario is reminiscent of the situation between Max Verstappen and Daniel Ricciardo until 2018. In my opinion, it seems like no one really came out on top in this situation. Everyone, in a sense, ended up facing some drawbacks. Leclerc might have had a better chance at achieving greatness if he had switched from Ferrari. The team itself could have achieved better balance with Sainz as a lead driver, given his crucial input on the car's performance. On Sainz's part, he didn't win his battle with Leclerc and moved to a team that's entering F1 for the first time, which means success might not be guaranteed in the initial years. So, who do you think gained the most from all of this? Do you think Leclerc made the right choice? Let me know in the comments down below.